So behind the scenes, the Carmelo Anthony defense seems to be ramping up. Now, the public hasn't really heard too many things about much, but at the same time, the defense is apparently sending out subpoenas to get information from all the families, all their kids, all their fathers, their brothers, their sisters, their uncles, everybody. They're trying to get information from every witness of every person that was in attendance that saw something or had something to do with the Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf situation. Now, that seems normal to me. Obviously, a defense attorney is going to try and do that. They're going to try and get all information possible, point blank, period. But I didn't expect an underhanded move this soon into the entire situation, because we're learning now that the lawyers are trying to do a quick, fast one. They're trying to request this information, subpoena this information forcefully, basically, lawfully, without people being able to counterclaim that information. So basically, they gave everybody 5 days. Everybody has 5 days to go to their lawyer or to go and try and figure out what they can do to keep their children's names from being fully exposed to everybody. Now, obviously on this channel and a lot of other channels, nobody's releasing names and stuff like that. But if it's out in the wild and it's able to be found, that's when all the trolls and the lowlifes and the nobodies go and get that information and start doxing everybody. So we're entering an interesting situation right now, to where it's like they're playing chess against the families. The families got this suddenly pushed on them, and I think it is necessary information that the defense team is probably going to have to obtain, but the way in which they're doing it is kind of suspicious. Let's go ahead and check out what's happening. There's been a big update. I'll see you guys in there real soon. Now, before we even begin this, my whole understanding about this is that the child witness, their information is exposed to the right people, and to everyone else, it's just initials or something of the sort that we don't know exactly who the person is. It happened in a few cases that we covered, to where the child, if they're involved in the case at all, if they're doing any type of witness work, they're pretty much just initialed and that's it. So I went to the Department of Justice to check out like exactly what they're saying about the code of conduct with dealing with children. And then we're going to compare it with what's actually happening with what Mike Howard, is requesting. So down here, there's a whole code, blah, 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 blah. Protection of identity of child witness and victims. Under 18 USC 3509, the term child means a person who is under the age of 18 who is or is alleged to be a victim of a crime of physical abuse, sexual abuse, or exploitation, or a witness to a crime committed against another person. Section 3509D requires that all government employees connected with the criminal proceeding, all court personnel, the defendant, and all employees of the defendant, and all members of the jury, 1, keep all documents that disclose the name or any other information concerning a child in a secure place to which no person who does not have a reason to know their contents has access, and 2, disclose documents described in the statute or information in them that concerns a child only to persons who, by reason of their participation in the proceeding, have reason to know such information. So basically from this, you leave the kids' names out of it, right? But I think it goes a step further, and there's a whole bunch of little exemptions when it has something to do with the whole school district of information, because now the school is kind of like the middleman between these requests, as opposed to just something that happened out on the street, right? So let's see what happened with Mike Howard. A concerning exclusive update involving students attending Frisco ISD, Texas, who attended the track meet the day Austin Metcalf was murdered. So this is everybody. And this is, the school has these files, these records, they could just pass it off. So now it's like the school has to somewhat comply with what's happening, right? So everybody who went to attendance, that's a lot of kids. That's a lot of fucking kids. On July 9th, 2025, I reported multiple subpoenas were sent to Frisco ISD. Please take note of this date. Mike Howard, Carmelo Anthony's attorney, requested all disciplinary counseling and school records from Frisco ISD for Carmelo Anthony, Austin Metcalf, and Austin Metcalf's brother, Hunter Metcalf. Howard also requested a list of all students, athletes, and their parents' information who attended the track meet, as well as copies of all video footage taken, which is a lot. You know how many iPhones popped out during that time? That's hundreds of video, I would assume. That's hundreds of little clips and all types of shit. The requested information included full names, date of birth, address, parents' names, and contact information for those who attended the track meet at Kuykendall Stadium on April 2nd, 2025. Today, July 24th, 2025, I obtained a copy of an email sent to every parent of each child who attended the track meet, informing them that they have until July 29th, 2025, 5 days to file a motion and or notice of hearing to object the release of their personal identifiable information to the Anthony family's attorney and Collin County courts. Now, I think the most underhanded thing about this is just the time. I think he didn't, because when you're playing this game as a lawyer, there's gonna be certain witnesses that object to give their information but might still show up. There might be people who want to give you a hard time with their lawyers. So there's a lot of things I feel like Mike Howard is trying to avoid by springing this up on families. Maybe they don't have the money on them right now to hurry get a lawyer and object it. Maybe, all these thoughts that are going through his head, he's probably thinking like, yeah, let's give him 5 days. What's the minimal amount of time you need? Five days? Give him exactly 5 days and let's get all this information and let's really start going hard. Now, does that mean if he does get this information, does that mean the kids will be doxxed? I don't necessarily think so. But a lot of people seem to believe that, which, hey, you're dealing with a case like this. It is very possible. Frisco ISD appears to have given little consideration to the serious concerns of parents regarding their children's safety. Activists and operatives have already threatened and targeted the Metcalf family, including their son, Hunter, and have escalated threats toward me as a prominent reporter on the case. A defense attorney may subpoena school records of non-party, but they must demonstrate the relevance of records to the case and adhere to legal procedure for issuing and serving subpoenas while respecting individuals' rights to privacy and protections under the FERPA Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And this is the one thing, we read that definition in the beginning, how, certain kids, you can have their name, but it needs to stay within certain limits. FERPA trumps over even that sometimes, from what I understand. So FERPA is like this whole situation that I think Mike Howard's trying to get around. Because there's so many gray areas, he just wants to get all those names without having to deal with that. And I think the major concern from this entire thing is that, there's going to be a star witness, and it's going to be a kid more than likely, right? So I feel like the main concern is that, the operatives, the activists, whoever, the dumbass, the trolls out there, they find that name and they attach to it. And now the kid's fearing for his life or some shit. And keep in mind, there was even a kid who made a comment. She said, oh yeah, I knew Karmelo. He liked to fight, but I never expected this. People wanted to go after her. She just made a random comment. People wanted to go after her. So, I think that this kind of implicates a lot bigger of a problem in the future if they keep moving like this. The school is required to make a reasonable effort to notify parents if the student is a minor before complying with the subpoena. And that was their, what was the word? That was their reasonable effort. I guarantee you, if somebody goes and emails the school, they're going to be like, well, we gave you a full business week. We gave you one full business week, and that's pretty much all we can do about it. Listen, the school doesn't want to have anything to do with this case just as much as the Anthony family doesn't want to. I feel like the school he's going to, the whole school district sees this as just overall a tarnish to their name, and they just want to get rid of it as soon as possible. I don't think the school is going to be very helpful in terms of responding to that statement right there. I doubt it. I spoke with several parents in Frisco ISD regarding this. One parent stated, given the heat that surrounds this case, not to be overdramatic, but every student that was there could be exposed to every nut that would have them swatted or followed or otherwise intimidated. The defendant, of course, has a right to his defense, but I don't need someone in Wisconsin calling the SWAT team because my son might be a witness. We didn't ask for this. We want to keep our lives private and have our kids be able to attend school without any more anxiety than high school life itself presents. Now, I get what the parent's saying, but from the start, I already said, in my opinion, Mike Howard is going to get those names. Regardless or not if they're going to be allowed to be public or if the witness is going to speak, Mike Howard's going to get those names. And I think this is just one of the moves that we're going to start to see from this, quote unquote dream team that they're going to start pulling. They're going to start doing a whole bunch of underhanded shit, quick shit, fast, to where it's like, well, it's not illegal, so I guess we have to give it to them. We're going to be seeing a lot more of that. But mind you, prosecution can do the same thing. So remember, there's Mike Hunt and the Dream Team, but there's also prosecution, and they can do the same thing. So we'll see what happens as this progresses. The parent continued, I wish I would have gotten earlier notice. I have contact information for an attorney who will fight vigorously to protect parental rights in this matter. If you, the parents, would like to join together and fight this invasion of privacy and short notice, please contact me for more information. And the one reason why I'm kind of skeptical about this is because Mike Howard and that other lawyer, these lawyers know what they're doing. So I'm kind of skeptical on how much can actually be done to stop this, other than, gathering that money, getting that attorney, and trying to fight against it, which a lot of parents probably don't have the money to just go ahead and do out of nowhere. So this is the notice posted right here. It says, notice of subpoena for student records. Dear parent of the 2024-2025 Memorial Track and Field athletes, pursuant to FERPA requirement found in 34, blah, 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 blah. The district is providing you with a notice of subpoena it received in case number, blah, 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 blah. Our records indicate that your student attended or was scheduled to attend the track meet in Kuykendall Stadium on April 2nd, 2025. Therefore, the record responsive to the subpoena contains what would be considered your student's personal identifiable information per FERPA. The subpoena is requesting the following records. And then in bold words, which is our kicker right here, which is what we got to focus on. Please provide a list of all student athletes from Memorial High School, including their full name, date of birth, address, parent's name, contact information. So that's email, that's phone number, that's everything. That's your social security number. No, I'm playing. Maybe it actually could be your social. I don't think. Maybe it actually really could be your social included as well. Who attended a track meet at the Kuykendall Stadium 0402, 2025. Now, again, they cited the case law and all that shit. The requirements found in 34 CFR 9931A9-2 or whatever, So if the school is actually sending this out, it's sent and it's legal. I feel like the courteous thing to do would have let the parents know a month ahead, 2 weeks ahead, 2 weeks at the very minimum. But again, this is a stain on the school's reputation. They do not care. They want to get this thing shut down as soon as possible. And if a few kids get cyberbullied over it or doxxed, so fucking be it. This needs to exit the news. This needs to come out of the news cycle as soon as possible, because we do not want Frisco ISD to look bad. That's what I think about this whole thing, because, the school is compliant as ever. They could have easily responded to Mike Hunt. Jeez, why do I keep saying that? They could have easily responded to Mike Howard and been like, well, we're going to have to do this, that, and the other. And from there, we can move forward. It's going to take us about 3 weeks. It's going to take about 3 weeks. You're just going to have to wait, or blah, blah, something. But nope. You got 5 days. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is normal? Do you think this is abnormal? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is the next move for the criminal defense attorneys? Because like I said, they're going to get to work. Whenever things die down a little bit, that's because they're working, clearly. But anyways, folks, I'll catch you guys real soon. Stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys, man. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.